we go. Um, Happy Tuesday. I never talk to you on Tuesdays, but today's a really special day. Today's a really special day. It is my book launch day. This is the first book that I've ever written in my life, not the last. And I'm just really, really excited. I've been coming to you on Fridays to do some education. And I have a really fun topic today, actually. I really wanted to chat about the tools that I used in my own kitchen to create this cookbook. One thing that I'm really excited about is I'm hearing people say, I don't like cooking, I'm not good at cooking, or I want my teenagers to cook, but they don't know how, or I want my partner to cook, but they don't know how, and your book is so easy. That's exactly why I created it. And I just wanted to point out that I live in a very small house. I feel very fortunate to have this kitchen that I have, but it's pretty small. It's nothing fancy. So I wanted to show you some of the things that I used to create this book. It literally has over 80 recipes, so that was a lot of work. It has 6 weeks of meal prep. And so if you're familiar with meal prep, it's where you plan your week, you go shopping and get all the food ready, and then you're literally cooking for your week in one day. I did a lot of it by myself. My husband also helped. I would say if you're meal prepping and you have anybody in the house that can help you chop or, watch something and stir it while you're doing something else, that would be ideal. But you can absolutely do it by yourself too. I just think meal prepping is a really fun way to get the family involved and get people helping you in the kitchen. But again, you can totally do it on your own, and you can do it if you're not very good at cooking or if you're just learning. So just so you know, every recipe that I put in this cookbook, it has a limited amount of ingredients. So if you want spices, if you want different herbs, if you want different ingredients, you add them, right? But in general, it's meant to be really, really simple. And I don't use like fancy ingredients. I live in Seattle, and so I actually feel like I have access to some pretty unique ingredients. Like if you go out to eat, it's like seaweed and different herbs and spices, but I don't really have that in this book. For this book, I kept it really, really simple, things that you probably already have in your own pantry, things that you have on hand, things that are in your freezer, things that you can buy very, very easily and that are affordable. So the premise of this book is for calming inflammation. It's actually perfect for any person on any diet, unless you have some very specific needs or allergies. It is really high fiber. So if you have a problem with high fiber or you have a condition that's really high fiber, that could be a little bit of a challenge because it's whole foods, plant-based. And so it's high fiber, which is so good for most people. But where was I going with that? I can't remember. The recipes are really easy and simple, and they're just perfect for any person. Yes, this is what I was saying, but they're also really designed for people that are living with inflammation. And a lot of people that are living with inflammation do live with some chronic pain or fatigue. So one of the things that I was thinking the entire time about for creating my recipes was making it so that it was very easy for anyone to do, especially if they're not feeling well sometimes. So yeah, that's common. Are you laughing at me because I'm forgetting my what I'm trying to tell you? Thank you guys for coming. This is my book. It comes out today. I'm getting a lot of messages about it arriving to people in the mail, and this is really exciting. And so when you get yours, I'd really love for you to leave a review or message me and let me know what you think, because that's really, really important to me. So I mentioned that I don't have a fancy or big kitchen, and I actually wanted to point out that I did not buy one single new kitchen tool to create this cookbook. So I wanted to show you what I used. I will say, if you're really into meal prep, having some duplicates of things is really helpful. So let me start with the basics. As far as meal prepping, you're going to be measuring a lot of things. So I have a big measuring cup and a small measuring cup. That's actually all that I use. So that's really simple. These are nice because, this goes up to 4 cups, this goes up to 2 cups, and it also can go as small as a 1/4 cup if you're doing like an 1/8 cup, which there's not that much of that in the book. Then you might need, a smaller one. But on that note, I actually have 2 sets of measuring spoons, and that works really well for me. What I found is on meal prep day for the book, I would get everything picked up and ready to go. I would use every single thing in my kitchen. I would fill up the dishwasher and then just wash it, and then I was good to go. So I literally use like every single thing I had. So having 2 measuring cups, having 2 of the measuring spoons was really, really helpful. Another thing that I really like for meal prep is a lot of little bowls. So I have just these set of little bowls, and I even have this tiny one. So that's what can be really helpful to put garlic in, you know. So if I was going to put garlic in a bunch of recipes, I would like stick it all in that bowl and then scoop it out. Or, you know, this would be a herb and spice mix for one. This would be cilantro for another. This would be parsley for another. So I just get it all laid out, and that type of meal prep worked really, really well for me when I was doing the book. What else do I want to show you? This is my all-time favorite. Who knows what this is? I want to see you guys in the comments. Let me know what this is. I'll tell you, it's a citrus presser. And so I use a lot of citrus. Citrus is very anti-inflammatory. It adds a lot of flavor. It's a great way to add flavor without salt. It's just a really fun thing to do. So lemons and limes and oranges are throughout the book, and lots of vitamin C and lots of bright flavor again, and that nice acidity that you need to balance meals. Yeah, lemon juicer, exactly right. So yeah, this is my favorite, and I used it in most of my recipes. So you're probably gonna need one of these. And if you don't have one, then you're just going to squeeze it on your own. And it's not that big of a deal. Like, don't feel like you need to go buy fancy equipment. My other favorite things, spatulas. And I actually have, I think, 4 or 5 tiny spatulas, and I like these a lot. They're just really good, again, if you are using these tiny bowls for herbs and spices and things like that. So these are my favorites. I also have probably 3 or 4 wooden spoons. My wooden spoons are like burnt, right? They have like these burn marks. This one is actually purple, dyed from blackberries. So again, I don't have fancy equipment, but having multiples, especially if you're meal prepping, is really helpful. And if you're just joining, and thanks so much for everyone for jumping on today, I'm talking about how I created my cookbook. It launches today, and it's got 80 plus recipes and 6 weeks of meal prep. So I did a ton of meal prepping, and I'm talking about how I did that in my small kitchen without special ingredients. A couple other things that I found super helpful. I have a big one of these and a small one of these, but these little tongs are really helpful. Actually, I use these a lot, and I just love the mini versions. And I also have a big whisk and a small whisk, and I really love my small whisk. I used it a lot. So again, having multiples is really helpful if you're meal prepping. If you're just really interested in this recipe book for the individual recipes and you're not as into meal prepping, then you really don't need all the multiples, but these are still really great kitchen tools to have. Otherwise than that, I do have a set of different size of big bowls, and I would actually go through all of these mixing bowls when I was making all these recipes, because you're going to need a lot of bowls, and sometimes I'd be washing them throughout. But again, if you have more than one, that's going to be really helpful. These are just, you know, they're kind of chipped and they're kind of old. I think I've had them for 10 years, but I really enjoy them, and you can just make different recipes in the different sizes. Having a nice big mixing bowl is really helpful, actually. So that's one thing that is a nice baseline. Again, if you've got 2 bowls, you can still do it. I do use my colander quite a bit. You'll see that I make a lot of different noodles and pasta and beans and veggies. So you're going to be, you know, straining a lot of things, and I want you to be safe in the kitchen. So this is a nice thing to do. And I have 2 more things to show you. One is this gigantic pot, and you can make so much in here. Again, this is old. It's not anything super fancy, but I have 2 of these, and that was helpful. The one thing you want to think about for meal prepping is you want to make sure that you're multitasking. So it's not like you're just making one thing at a time. It's like, I'm going to get some soup going in here. I'm going to get some energy balls going in this bowl right here. I'm going to be chopping some herbs, and I'm going to put this in the oven, right? So you're doing lots of things all at once. And so that's how you plan it out. And that's how I wrote the book for you. Oh, speaking of, look what else I have. Forgot about this. Baking sheets, and I have just, you know, like I think I have 2 different sizes. These are really important for your meal prep because this is extremely hands-off. Most of them are like parchment or silicone lined. Stick them in the oven, and like while that's baking, you're doing other things. So these are nice to have. And finally, yes, thank you for the love. Finally, a couple nice sturdy cutting boards are really helpful. So, you know, these, I'll like flip them over, make sure that you're doing food safety. But the really nice thing is that this book hardly has any meat. You can add meat if you want, that's absolutely fine, right? But in general, when you're looking at anti-inflammatory foods, it's going to be more plant-based. And so it's nice because you can reuse this over and over, and you don't have to worry as much about like, oh, there was raw meat or seafood on this, now I need to sanitize it. So, you know, the meal prep book is really nice for that reason. Of course, if you do like onions on this side, you're going to do, you know, fruit on a completely different side or a different board, of course. So I'm just going to wrap up, talking about some of my favorite kitchen tools because my book launches today. And thank you so much for all the support. I'm really just blown away. The pre-sales have been incredible. The Kindle is #1 in healthy cooking. Like, I couldn't ask for more. And it means a lot to me. And I'm really excited about this opportunity. The final thing I wanted to show you, I'm just like actually going into my own drawers here in my kitchen, is a number of knives. I do have a couple fancier knives that I've had for a long time that I get sharpened on the regular. Like this big chopping knife is really, really nice. It's a Japanese style chopping knife. And otherwise I have some other smaller knives that I use for different reasons. I keep them really safe, in this drawer right here. I keep them sharpened, and I don't have like super, super fancy equipment, but I do think that if you are cooking a lot, it is nice to have some knives. It's safer if they're sharp and if they're kept in a good place where you are going to be safe and you can't get hurt. Oh, I have one more thing. I keep saying one more thing. I actually use a lot of kitchen towels. And so these are better for the environment than using a lot of, paper towels. And so they're all random. These ones are Christmas. This one's very old and stained, but it doesn't matter. All you need to do is mop things up. So these are really helpful for meal prep. I feel like people don't really talk about that, but I use these every single day in my kitchen, and then I'm just like constantly washing them. And of course you got your oven mitt. I was using an oven mitt that was really old, and it actually started to get too hot on my hands. So I got a new one, just ordered it at Amazon. So thankful for that. This is what I use. I didn't buy anything new. Nothing is fancy, nothing is special. Any person, I really believe any person can work out of this cookbook. It's really, really simple. The ingredient list is short. The ingredients are purposefully very common. Because it is an anti-inflammatory cookbook and some people that are cooking out of it might have some pain or fatigue, I have a lot of opportunities in here for like, use this frozen thing, right? Use pre-chopped veggies. I use a lot of canned beans or other canned foods. There's really good evidence that canned and frozen foods keep their nutritional value very, very well, sometimes even more than fresh. And so it's up to you. You want to use all fresh food, you do it. Like, that's absolutely fine. It's a versatile book for a reason. But if you are in a hurry, you're a busy person, you're on a budget, or you're kind of a new cook, or you do live with some pain and inflammation, then you're going to have a lot of opportunities in here to really make it simple for you. Don't overthink the cooking part too much, right? Just like gather what you have and make it super simple, and just dive in. You don't actually probably need to buy hardly anything. The only thing that I did buy is I had to get all my storage containers, right? So if you're meal prepping, you're definitely going to need different sizes of storage containers. But the really fun thing is, like, throughout the book, I write, you're going to need, 5 storage containers for this, or you're going to need 6 storage containers for this. So that is one thing that is written in here. And I just literally went to the store and I bought some packs of different size storage containers, glass ones, so I could reheat and things like that to make my life easy. I keep them up in the cupboard, good to go. So if you have the book, I know everybody's getting their books today, shoot me a picture, right? So I can post it on my Instagram or Facebook. I'd love to share that. Otherwise, please let me know what you think. You liked it, you didn't like it, you like this recipe you didn't like. I really want to know, honestly. And if you have the time, and it would mean so much, I'd love it if you drop a honest review on Amazon. That's really, really important for the success of the book. And the success of the book to me means helping as many people as possible feel better and eat more healthfully in an easy way. So that really is the baseline here. Have fun today. Thank you so much for your support. This is a huge day in my life, and I'm so glad that you guys got to share it with me. I am going to do a few more lives on Fridays because that's been really fun leading up to the book launch. And yeah, this is just a drop-in Tuesday for book launch day. Appreciate you guys all, and I hope that you have a really, really wonderful rest of your day. I'm going to try to log off here. Bye.